Hi there, I'm Casey Rose and this is Body School with Casey. What I want to talk about today is our feet. I've had some requests to talk about balance and it just makes sense to start with the feet. So I want you to start out by doing a test. So if you come to standing and you look down at your feet, I just want to balance your weight over your feet. I want you to see, can you lift just your big toes? Can you lift both of them at once? Okay, and can you lift all four of your other toes? You can start with one foot or the other. And can you lift all of them at once? Can you lift all your toes and then touch just your big toes down? And can you lift all your toes and touch just your four toes down? Okay, so you can check in with yourself how you did there. So our feet, though we think of them as being really mobile, our feet are actually very sedentary. And I want to show you how to put movement into them. So if that was challenging, it's helpful to get close to your feet. And I'm going to just encourage, I want to lift just my big toe on my right side here. And lift that up and hold it up. And notice as you lift that big toe, are you doing it by rolling the ankle? Or can you hold this ankle totally still, let's see, and lift just your big toe? And can you lift the four toes? And this one is really the culprit because we tend to, look, I can lift my big toes, but or my four toes, but you're not actually moving your toes, you're moving your ankle. So can that hold still? And then just lift those toes. Let's try the other side. So just the big toe up. Oops. And then, so see, I just instinctively was like, let these toes, just use your hand to relax these toes out of the picture. Like encourage them to stay. As I lift this big toe, these toes want to curl and kind of grab the floor. So I'm just encouraging them to stay relaxed. All right, how about this one? Hold the toe down. If you need to, hold the toe down and lift those toes. And if you need to encourage with your fingers to lift, go for it, right? And then how about all of them? So both toes, big toes up, all four toes, or all eight, do the math, all eight toes lift. Okay, can you, leaving your toes relaxed, can you spread them, right? Can you spread them apart? And you can see how my toes want to lift up to reach apart. I'm just going to gently, carefully, and look at, I'm using my ankles to try and spread them out. I'm going to leave my ankles out of it. I want this all to come from the intrinsic muscles of my foot. Like I want my foot to come, to be active. And I'm building strength in my foot. So here's another thing we can do. You can curl your foot, right? And uncurl it. So flex from the forefoot and extend from the forefoot. So notice it's not this. I'm not plantar flexing and dorsiflexing. I am just flexing my foot itself and extending my toes. How about the other side? How does that work? So what has happened to many of us is we wear shoes all the time, right? We've worn shoes our whole lives. And the more troubles perhaps we've had with our feet, or the more we listen to advertising, or dare I say even our doctors, we have put our feet into more and more confining footwear. Okay, so I'm going to give you the next move while I talk about this. The next move is inversion and eversion. Inversion and eversion. And this time I am letting my ankle roll because the foot, just a little bit, right? It's not It's not like moving this, right? I'm not moving my whole leg. This part is staying still, and I'm just, it's kind of helpful to leave the heel on the floor, but if you're sitting in a chair, you can lift your foot up. So very often we get shoes with good support, right? We get orthotics. The more stiff and firm and confining a shoe is, often the more expensive it is, right? But the more we do that, the more we are casting our feet, and the less our feet actually have to or even get to move and work. And they just get weaker and weaker and weaker. Very often, so many of us are diabetic, and we have these diabetic troubles with our feet. And so we protect them more and more. And so I encourage you to do this footwork and just have it be on a smooth surface. Start it on a smooth surface, right? All right, so there's a few moves. And then the final thing is I have these, I have a basket here that has a bunch of my balls in it. And I have a tennis ball, I have a super ball, and then I have this soft yoga tune-up ball. I'm gonna start with this one just to show you. So it's just a pretty squishy ball. You can just go to, Rite Aid or Walgreens or whatever and get an assortment of balls, or maybe get in your dog basket. And I'm just gonna start rolling this ball under the ball of my foot and start to put some movement, right? Put movement back into my feet. That's as I increase my strength, I also want to increase my mobility. I have my little toe over here. It tends to kind of hook and doesn't want to do anything by itself. It kind of is codependent on the third toe, or maybe that's my fourth toe. I think it is my fourth toe. So I just work at putting them, having them move independently, right? Oops, I'm getting out of the picture. So you can do this for any amount of time, every day. Like have a ball by your, in the bathroom where you keep your toothbrush, and while you're brushing your teeth, that's a really nice thing to do. I wanted to show, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, so this is the final one I'm going to show is the way you hold your hands like this, like the way you can interlace your fingers. Work at doing that for your feet. So I am doing one at a time. I'm still trying to get all of my fingers in there, but really our feet should be as malleable. I know they're not as long, and we don't use them, but really there's the same amount of muscles and tendons and ligaments and bones and nerves, and our feet should be as dexterous. They potentially could be as dexterous as our fingers. So I'm just working my fingers in between my toes. And I have to admit, I used to hate this move, but it's gotten to where I actually kind of enjoy it now. Maybe even crave it a little bit. It's sort of like a yawn for your toes. All right, so try this out yourself. Do it as you can do all this stuff, like as you watch your show, as you brush your teeth, like I said, you can kind of put these moves into your day and begin to liven your feet up.